It is my pleasure to host you here together with all my colleagues from the National Heritage Board of Poland in Wrocław, and with the support of the Council of Europe and the European Commission. I hope you had a nice last evening. For those of you who had a very early wake-up call, I hope you don't mind it and you still manage to get some sleep. And I hope you will enjoy today's debates. And also during the breaks, as you can see, we've prepared two exhibitions for you. One is upstairs, showing the actual impact of European Heritage Days on various European countries. And this is really not our work because it's been done by the coordinators themselves. And the other one is ours, is a short version of Poland's history, for those of you who are interested. And the title of the exhibition is The Milestones, which, as a matter of fact, was the national theme of European Heritage Days in Poland this year. We will have several presentations today, and then a very active roundtable discussions. So you are asked to listen very carefully, since you will have to discuss it afterwards. And now I would like to ask Mr. Noel Fojut to say some few words about our theme.
Thank you, Paulina. Dear participants, the theme is in front of you. You can read it for yourself. I won't repeat the words and spend valuable time on that. It's my task today to act as rapporteur. But it's you, the participants in this forum, who will undertake the real work, and I will just be reporting on your work. After the formal presentations, it is up to you, participants, to discuss the issues around our theme of Value the Heritage. It is your job to decide what is important for you, for your countries, and for Europe. I just want to say a little word or two about the working method we will use. To help us work as efficiently as possible, we have a team of facilitators, one at each table. All of them are volunteers, and they have all been trained in the miracles of modern technology. I think some of our facilitators are here. Who'd like to wave your hands or stand up? Some of the facilitators will be joining us later, because they are also undertaking other duties at the beginning of the forum. We also will have an editorial team, which will consist of Paulina, Anna Trigona, and Natasha, who has disappeared, and myself. And during the lunch break, we will capture the points that all of the discussion groups make. These will be sent to us through the miracle of modern technology. So already we have created a new piece of cultural heritage. The flip chart is now history. I just hope it works. The volunteers have all been trained in using the system, and the comments which are made by each group will be fed back to the editorial group, so we'll be able to work live as you discuss. The group will be seeing. So that will allow us to bring together your conclusions in a coherent, organised way, so that the conclusions of our debates will be truly your conclusions and not our conclusions. After lunch, it will be my task to feed back to you the key conclusions on each of the main questions which we are considering today. And that will give you a chance to add anything that we have missed or to make any minor corrections. After that, we will briefly look at the idea of the overall conclusions, the final conclusions of the session. Dear participants, it is your forum. We, the organisers, the facilitators, the editors, the rapporteurs, are here as your servants. Please use today's time well, both for yourselves and for the future of the continuing success story, which is the European Heritage Days. Thank you. Okay, so we're back to our tight schedule. I would like now ask Mr. Thérond, Head of Culture, Heritage and Diversity Department of the Culture and Diversity Directorate at the Council of Europe, to say a few welcoming words. Daniel?
So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a pleasure to meet you this morning for this 4th European Heritage Days Forum. Major themes were dealt with during the last session of the forum: heritage dialogue and mutual understanding in Brussels, use of NITs for the heritage promotion in Ljubljana, the involvement of heritage communities in local development in Istanbul. This morning, the presentation will emphasize the values of heritage as a contribution to economic development. I'm not going to speak too long. The agenda is very heavy. Just a few preliminary, brief, short remarks. One, the heritage economy is currently the subject of frequent meetings addressing such topical concerns as job creation, economic recovery, urban regeneration. One of the paradoxes of heritage economy is no doubt that in some contexts and regions, it's not yet sufficiently perceived by decision makers and investors as a development resource, whereas in others, it is already overexploited to the possible detriment of local inhabitants' living environment. We can probably all agree that a range of material and tangible heritage gives a region its image and means of fostering economic development without having to rely solely on attracting tourists, an outstanding pass, the quality for the living environment, research centers, human resources, high qualified human resources. Local tradition may also attract the settlement of companies and new economic activities. Wrocław provides an ideal example of varied heritage potential, rich in material and intangible assets. The current concept of heritage embraces, however, so many different realities that it is impossible to deal with the heritage economy in an abstract general manner. One cannot propose a single set of solutions when talking about such diverse issues as conservation of major historic buildings, management of large urban ensembles, industrial wasteland, historic landscape areas, and why not the art of preparing and presenting food and gastronomy. I refer to the World Heritage list. During other seminars, the economics Xavier Greff linked strategic choices regarding use and, above all, reuse to varying degrees of protection or respect for authenticity, which are required depending on the type of heritage involved. What kind of balance between authenticity and flexibility? Everlasting question. Some would call territorial intelligence the ability to combine the different resources constituting the heritage potential of regions. There are now plentiful studies dealing with heritage economy, along with postgraduate courses which address the subject from various viewpoints. It cannot be said, however, that there is a well-established, definitive methodology for the sustainable use of heritage resources. It is a challenge for heritage experts, developers, and economists. It's our job this morning. Anyway, this morning's statement will provide pointers for identifying both the various components of heritage potential and the possible impacts of its use. This reflection to be continued should certainly be a part of the follow-up of activities of the European conventions, in particular the Faro Convention. That might be a task also for the new steering committee of the Council of Europe for Culture, Heritage and Landscape. And this work should be approached, of course, under the angle of the document Europe 2020 of the European Commission, Strategy for Smart, Sustainable, Intelligent and Inclusive Development. Exchange of experience and good practices, benchmarking via the hearing network, for example, will therefore facilitating the work of various actors. To conclude, the conclusions of today's forum will certainly have an impact on further initiatives to be developed in the context of our European cooperation. Excellent work. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel, very much for giving us this background information on our today's theme.